I uh, uh, what is up, posse? My name is Will Bromlick, and welcome to another episode of t-ema. So, this was originally going to be with my friend Jessup, and I actually had a plan to, all set out. I was going to have it be on FaceTime, of course. I was going to record the screen on my phone, and I was going to try to, mix the screen on here as well as the screen on my phone. But the footage on here got lost, and so I'm pretty much stuck with this. So we actually watched Titanic: The Legend Goes On. Now, for those that don't know, the very first episode of t-ema we did was The Legend of the Titanic. And during my first semester at Gardner Webb, I did In Search of the Titanic or Tentacolino, whichever you prefer. However, there was one Titanic movie that we were missing, and that was the one that has the infamous rapping dog scene. And I've seen this movie. I've seen bits and pieces of this movie, but luckily I was able to find the full one on YouTube. And I was very skeptic to watch it at first, but in order to give you guys a review, I had to watch it fully. And after watching this travesty, that's basically the best way to describe it. This movie is a complete disaster. I mean, for starters, the animation is very cheap looking. It looks like it comes something out of a children's point and click game. Although, to be fair, the children's point and click game looks a lot better than this. And all the scenes feel so hastily rushed. They only last a few seconds, and they end before we even know it. That just makes the editing so sloppy, and it makes it hard to keep track of everything in this movie. And another thing that's hard to keep track of in this movie are the characters, because within the first 10 minutes or so of the movie, you're introduced to like 15 or 20 different characters, and it's hard to get invested in any of them because they're all carbon-based knockoffs of other animated characters. You got a storyline with Cinderella, you got the American Tail Mice, you got the Secret of Nim, the Cheshire Cat, Granny from Looney Tunes, you name it, they're in here. But I think what makes this movie even more horrible is how offensive it is. Like, let's take the rapping dog scene for example. I mean, this takes place in 12? Yeah, it was 1912. And this scene just comes completely out of nowhere, and the grammar in this movie is so clumsy. Because the rapping dog saves a mouse from being eaten. And the mouse says, if it hadn't been for you, I would have been in someone else's digestion. And then comes, well, you know what I'm talking about. But, in the word, taking a little page out of a guy I like on YouTube, Bob Show, taking a page out of his book, if you have seen Tentacolino and noticed there was a rapping shark, compared to that, the rapping dog somewhat makes sense. Mainly because they're on the Titanic, which is easily one of the most famous ships in the world, and you could have made the argument that it was party time. Let's actually talk about the romance between the two leads. It is so bland, like they share a whopping 7 sentences with each other, maybe even less than that, and automatically they assume it's meant to be. I mean, granted, okay, I will admit, it's been a while since I've seen the James Cameron version. I might rewatch it later down the road at some point. But, I just think that their chemistry is like, fake. It's not authentic whatsoever. And also, spoiler, as if it really matters, nobody dies in this movie. At least none of the characters we were all introduced to. Even the characters we wished were dead, but it turns out they were not. The one thing I can give this movie is that there's a song like halfway through the movie that's decent. It's not good, but it's probably the only decent thing I can get out of this movie. Other than that, it's a complete waste of time and a load of crap. So, that's just about does it for this episode of T-ema. If you did enjoy this video, then be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more content. Next up is going to be a review of the new Netflix movie, well, new-ish, as well as the new film from WWE Studios, The Main Event. So, until next time, see you later, posse.